We need to be concerned about getting there more than the path that leads us there. Because once you detach your focus from getting there and connect it to the conditions that you're encountering, the movement of process, I want to talk about a combination of things that I had to bear in the movement of time. And one of those things is the fact that it has not been easy to this point. You see, sometimes you try to, you make an ending attempts, you effortlessly trying to bring about what appears to be that big break that you've been desperately working towards, and you're not seeing result, you're not encountering the result, and for that reason, you found with your bottom part, positioned flat on the ground, and you're not finding any reason to stand up because you have nothing to move forward to, because you have tried several times, you have made the attempt time and again, but you just do not ultimately encounter that result that you've been aspiring for. And so many people have lived to fake smiles, to fake laughs, while in actual fact they encounter large measures of pain that if they were to speak about, you will just never understand. Because one thing that I learned in the process, that you cannot let humanity see that you don't have it all together. And this does not necessarily mean you emulate a position that you do not hold by virtue of reality. No, do not try to be what you're not, but try hard to not allow them to see the fact that you go through sleepless nights of unending thoughts, thoughtful nights that just keep you awake. And the ability to just rest is one that you just can never imagine, because all you think about is getting yourself out. I understand that at times life just becomes a complication that we just never comprehend. Because we have tried time and again. You look at other people you grew up with, people you were raised with, they're making it, and you just keep wondering, what is taking me so long? I embarked on this process understanding where I was going, but now it's not too vivid in my sight anymore. I don't even have an imagination of the reality of the idea being manifested in the movement of time, and I feel like this is a dead end. There's no way forward from here. There's no turning left, there's no turning right from here. I will therefore succumb to the standard, and by virtue of taking that decision, you miss it all. And so many times our lives become a mess. And you constantly wonder whether the dirt resonates, well, it is all living in the mind, and that's what we need to get cleaned up, period. If we desperately anticipate a break that is so immense, that gets up on our feet and allows us to reflect and think about the times of the past, you realize the fact that it was not easy getting there. We literally need to get our minds cleaned up, period. Because it's not going to do you any good to just keep wondering, how do I get myself out? But in the event of the circumstances, do not let them see that you do not have it all together. And these are words that my mom will tell me time and again, when things were extremely and ridiculously hard to bear and handle. And sometimes we were supposed to go to bed with our food in our stomachs, and she would say to us, go to bed, my children. And when you wake up in the morning, you dress up smartly, and when you leave that house, nobody will recognize and tell that the previous night you had nothing to sleep, to eat. And that's the kind of character that we need to adapt to. A character that is associated with disacquainting ourselves from all complaints, all worrying, and just pushing forward no matter how difficult the conditions are. And I want to let you know that sometimes you see the conditions don't favor us, but we shall not predicate the ability to move forward based on the conditions that surround our lives. No, we keep it moving either way. Because Because like farmers, we work day in, day out, whether it's cold, whether it's rainy, whether it's windy, because all we think about is the harvest, and that's what matters the most. So when we become reluctant to act upon the ambition due to the fact that there's the surrounding circumstance that we are not understanding, we ultimately shut the ability to encounter the result and diminish it immensely by virtue of holding back the ability to engage and acting upon that ambition. So whatever happens to the process, let it be. It's just one of those things that we come across in the movement of time. It's just passing by. Do not let it get to you. It's a surrounding influence that is not necessarily internalized and functioning within you. It's an externality that has no attachment. It has no involvement with your living. It's one of those things that we go through. It is not attached to your life. It is attached to the process of living. And so many times we become confused. We do not understand the situation. The struggle is not attached to life, but it is associated with the process, and the process is associated with movement. It is associated with development. So when you take another step forward, despite the fact that on my left I have this condition that is hitting me on the side, you keep moving, and once you have taken that step, you'll realize the fact that I've left that past struggle behind me, and now I'm at ease because I've allowed the process to continue taking place while I decide to live, despite the fact that situations are not favoring me, despite the fact that the predicaments are not favoring me. So when the situation grows ridiculously big and it is surpassing your ability to handle it, you just keep on taking the step, because what you are working towards is the idea, and that is the kind of character we need to adapt to. One that loses the path and the mind and begins to be considerate of getting there. That is the drive that keeps us moving, getting there. And this is my resume, and I thank you. Let us jointly move towards getting there.